Hiya, Martin here. Thank you for joining me for this week's beginner's wood turning demonstration. I hope you are all well and have had creative weeks and weekends in your workshops. This week I'm going to head off to the kitchen and make a rolling pin. This one's about 15 by 3 inches roughly, something like that. Finished with a food-safe foil and turned with a spindle gouge, roughing gouge and a round-nosed scraper. Please do like, share and subscribe, and at the end of the video, if you've enjoyed it, then please do leave a comment and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. So here we go with a sycamore rolling pin. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon. For the rolling pin, I've got a piece of sycamore, although most woods will do, but I wouldn't use yew or any other wood that is kind of toxic. But sycamore or beech will be absolutely fine, and this blank measures 16 inches by 3, and it's too long for the tool rest, as you can see, so we're going to have to kind of do it in 2 halves, as it were. Now the first thing I've got to do, because I want the rolling pin to be a nice cylinder, is make sure that my tool rest is square to the bed of the lathe, and I can check that just by looking down at a little gap between the edge of the bed and the tool rest itself. Make sure it's nice and square, and then I can just double check that everything's locked down. Get the lathe turning nice and slowly to start with, because this is quite a big piece. Get the roughing gouge, and then start to make it round up to about here. And then we'll do the same with the other end. Our piece is nice and round now, and it's got some nice figure in it, so I think this is going to be a really nice piece. We need to mark out where the handles are going to be, so I'm going to mark off 1/2 inch at this end, and 1/2 inch at that end. That's going to be the end of the handle. These 2 marks are going to be the ends of the handle, and I've left 1/2 inch there because I want some wood left to support the piece in the tailstock and the headstock. And then from there I'm going to measure in 3.5 inches or 90 millimeters, 80 millimeters, there we go, 80 mil. So the handles will be a little bit smaller, but we'll have a wider rolling pin, or a longer rolling pin. I don't want to do any more work on the actual top of the pin at the moment. Instead, what I want to do is create the handles. Then take the diamond tip parting tool and take that down to 30 mil at this end. That's good. So I can move the tool rest down to this end and do the same thing. Now we've got quite a lot of wood to lose on either end of our little rolling pin, so I'm going to use the roughing gouge to just scoop out as much as I can before moving across to the spindle gouge to finish the handles. Now on this side, on the right hand side, I cut right up to my pencil line, so with the spindle gouge I can start nibbling down until I get to 25mm on this side. I'm going to turn the tool rest in slightly to keep the end of the tool as close to the work as I can. Yeah, I'm satisfied with that. And then I'm going to bring the tool rest back into the centre, make sure it's nice and square with the bed of the lathe. Line my tool up just below centre, that's a bit too far. That'll do, that's good. And then making long passes, I'm just going to scrape the surface so it's nice and clean. Nice fluid, smooth cuts from one end to the other. That's a nice finish. I'm happy with that, very happy with that in fact. Right, and then finally I'm going to take the ends down as close as I possibly can with the skew chisel, no not the skew chisel, the spindle gouge, and then we'll do the finish. And then to finish the piece I'm going to take it down to 180 grit and I'm going to start with 150 paper. The lathe is running a lot slower and I'm going to make sure that I get all of the tool marks out if there are any left. Remember, at this point you should be wearing a respirator or some other kind of breathing protection, but because I'm talking whilst doing this I've left mine off. So remember to keep the paper moving all the time to avoid the piece getting too hot. it comes to doing the middle of the piece, nice long even strokes again, keeping the paper moving. And then carry on down to 180 or 240 or however fine you want to make it. And there's our piece finished down to 180. Very pleased with that. I'm going to give it a clean with some methylated spirits or denatured alcohol, as it's known in the States, because I don't want any dust all over it. So give it a wipe over. And then to finish off, I'm going to put on a coat of foodsafe oil. Rub it in along the grain. There is a long running debate as to whether or not, or rather there's a long running debate on what finishes are actually food safe. My opinion is if it doesn't say food safe on the label, don't use it. That's my opinion. Other people will heartily disagree, and I dare say there will be comments in the comments section of this video saying I'm talking absolute rubbish. But for safety's sake, you don't want to be putting your family's health at risk, or in fact anybody else's health at risk, especially if you want to start selling your pieces. So my advice, remember this is just my personal opinion, and anybody who says otherwise in the comments will not be getting a reply, is if it doesn't say food safe, don't use it on items that are going to come in contact with food. Right, there's one coat of food safe oil on there. I'm very pleased with that. It's darkened the wood up an absolute treat. And now I'm going to say the project is finished, but 2 or 3 further coats of food safe oil when this one has dried will be perfect. And then as and when required, you can apply some more in the home. Now all I need to do is cut off this end, finish off this end of the handle, and then we're going to be done. And here we are. Here is our finished rolling pin. Really pleased with how it's turned out. It looks great and it feels lovely too. I hope you enjoyed the project. Please do like, share and subscribe if you have enjoyed it, and if you feel so inclined then please do leave a comment below. I do my best to reply to all comments as often as I possibly can. And if you've been inspired to turn your own rolling pin or any of the other projects you've seen me turn, then please do head over to the website and drop me a line with a picture, and they might feature in a future episode or even on the website itself. Thanks very much indeed for watching. I'll see you again next week for another beginner's project demonstration. Bye for now.